Welcome back to Rogue Theory, where we explore the origins, influences, and playability of your favorite archetypes. Remember to like, follow, and use your Twitch Prime the next time I stream, maybe. Today we are covering everyone's YouTube recommended VTubers and Twitch streamers, the Live Twins, and their dastardly, real-life thieving counterparts, the Evil Twins. The Evil/Live Twins are comprised of 4 main deck monsters, 2 link monsters, 3 spells, and 3 traps. Now before we get into why these internet personalities decided to thieve by moonlight, we have to discuss some of the more obvious and subtle references that this archetype is trying to convey.
I saw it. There it is. There it is again. Hello. Still there. Fatty. Badass. One more hit. Fatty. Fatty, 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 fatty.
Firstly, while it's possible that the Live Twins are based off of the animation Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, I have to say that the resemblance only extends to the art style for their online personas. While that's enough to be considered a huge acknowledgement, most VTubers tend to stick to similar concepts of limited color palette. Now while I'm sure some of you might be inclined to believe that Lila is a reference to Gura from Hololive, I have to point out that sadly Hololive English didn't debut until September 12th, which was 9 days after the first reveal of the Evil Twin archetype. But just because the Evil and Live Twins aren't influenced from Hololive doesn't mean that the artist who created our lovable shark didn't work on both of these adorable characters for 2 entirely different companies. Now while I'm not going to speak any more about the online personas and the possibility that they are related to Hololive, I'm just going to say that Lila is Gara Gura and Kiss-a-Kill is Mori Calliope from Hololive English. Feel free to tweet or super chat this at them because I'd be very interested to see what they would say. And who knows, maybe we'll finally get that Calliope, Critical, and Rogue Theory crossover that you've all been waiting for.
Oh, nut!
Now while the Live Twins focused on entertainment and AdSense to produce revenue, the Evil Twins use their fan base to collect information and data that rivals Google's use of YouTube. But instead of selling that information, their data collection comes from their partner crossover channel of both Lila and Kiss-a-Kill, in which you voluntarily give up your information in order to see their locked and private content. With this, these wannabe fandom thieves plan daring heists in which they steal from the wealthy, despite all the presents from their fans that they receive. Now while that about covers the currently present storyline for this archetype and the modern day influences it's taking from and contributing to, I wouldn't be surprised if they ran into some trouble, as Evil Twin present seems to indicate that someone's been watching their nightly escapades.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Live Twin Lila, like Live Twin Kiss-a-Kill, can special summon her counterpart from the hand or deck. While they both represent 2 different characters with slightly different effects, one that gains you life points and one that makes your opponent lose life points, you could argue the reason for their massively similar effects is the fact that it's impossible to separate the 2 of them thanks to their constant interactions and collaborations on their partner channel. Either way, thanks to them having basically the same effect and the deck entirely revolving around these cards, there's no reason why you shouldn't be playing 3 of both of these cards. Live Twin Lila Treat is another possible and major reference to our famous VTubing shark. While Hololive hasn't featured a costume change for any of their characters, they have expressed interest. And seeing as how Lila Treat can only special summon herself when a Kiss-a-Kill monster is on the field, we can easily determine that not only this deck will be getting another wave of future support, but that most likely Kiss-a-Kill will also get a holiday-themed costume change, which with another utility extender should round out the deck list by bringing Lila Treat down to a 1 of instead of the current 3 that I think you should be running as an extender in pure builds. Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill, like Lila, are practically the same card, so we'll cover them both in one go. They can both special summon the alternative naming twin from the graveyard during the main phase. Also, when they're special summoned, the red one has the ability to draw a card from your deck, provided that their twin is already on the field, while the alternative blue one has the ability to pop a card on the field. Now while it doesn't seem impressive at first, the fact that you can resummon either one on both turns means not only can you dive further into your deck by drawing, but you also have an impressive control-style grind game as a backup plan if all else fails. Evil Twins Kiss-a-Kill and Lila, not to be confused with their extra deck versions, is a slow card that needs a turn or 2 to have passed before optimal use. It has dangerous potential though, given the right setup, since it can effectively wipe your opponent's established board. Personally, while it's strong, thanks to its built-in revival effect, I wouldn't recommend playing any more than 1 copy in your main deck. Live Twin Channel provides the deck a way to survive against aggressive OTK strategies by negating your opponent's attacks, and it allows you to survive in extended game states by having a consistent way to recycle your monsters to either the hand or the deck. While it's a decent field spell, the fact that it can't protect itself from destruction, and that the battle negation effect is limited to once a turn, means that sadly it won't necessarily win you any games. Live Twin Home is a quick play spell that's an obvious reference to the common pop-up ads on private pages. While it's not particularly malicious, it does cost you 1 card to use it. Thankfully though, this pop-up ad at least gives you access to your Live Twins, but it will restrict you into only using Evil Twins from your extra deck. While this might not seem like a problem for pure builds, combo variants that'll want to mix and match will need to focus on non-extra deck engines like Dogmatica or Eldritch if they plan to run this as a backup starting play. Secret password should only be used to search out your control-based traps or live twin home to begin your combo. While it can search your main deck boss monster, I wouldn't recommend doing that, as your other cards will be more impactful earlier on in your first couple of turns rather than a niche summon. Evil Twin Challenge makes use of the deck's ability to consistently draw cards from their link monsters to control the flow of the game by digging deeper for more hand traps. While it doesn't serve any other purpose besides summoning an occasional blocker on your opponent's turn, it can be used to reset your board on your turn, provided you have the right cards in your graveyard to do so. In my opinion, I personally wouldn't recommend running more than one, as this effect can be rather lackluster. Evil Twin GGEs is either a good name or a bad name depending on who you ask. As I personally am not running it, I personally think that it's a bad name since it's not even considered playable in my opinion, as it provides little to no advantage against your opponent besides the destruction protection effect. Evil Twin Present is one of the few cards you can rely on to win you games in Archetype, thanks to the fact that it can either shuffle your opponent's set spells and traps, or it can steal your opponent's important combo pieces. Okay, now that we know all the cards that are currently released for the Archetype, the effects of each card, and the possible relationship they have to not only famous internet figures, but also to internet scams, we can finally speak to the competitive viability of this archetype. While this deck, like most archetypes, can be played in a pure build, I personally think it's bottom left.
The x-axis was the intelligence, and then our y-axis was say so.
And works better when it's collaborating with others. For combos today, I only have one that I think is worth showing. The Live Twins have the ability to draw a card and pop a card on your opponent's turn, while also having the ability to draw a card on their turn. While it might seem weak, the fact that you can open multiple hand traps or other combo pieces like Dogmatica means that this archetype could be used as an engine to draw cards and increase main deck consistency. Here's the list that I'm currently playing around with. While I could easily go for an Eldritch or Dogmatica build, I decided that building for draw power and using Nightmare Griffin as a means to lock down my opponent on their turn was a better first turn play. While it's not always the best build going second, you can always choose to run Mathmech, Eldritch, or Dogmatica versions of the deck if you decide that you really aren't that great at rolling dice. While it's disappointing that this deck doesn't provide much in terms of a pure deck list, there's nothing wrong with being bottom left, sometimes. Hi guys, it's Rogue Theory here. Sorry about the delay between my last video and this one here. I've just been feeling under the weather for the past month, and so it's been really hard to get audio and vocals out at an acceptable and appreciative manner on my own part. That's why it might sound a little weird or a little odd at certain points, and just this was the best that I could really do without delaying this video for another week. But hopefully I can get another video to you guys out within a week's time. Oh, and if you want to access the monthly polls where you get to suggest what archetypes are next, feel free to support me on Patreon in the link down below. And as always, this is Rogue Theory, passing turn.
There are stories about every hero, how they became great. Most have one thing in common. Their bodies moved before they had a chance to think, almost on their own.
About how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.